If you look up at the night sky tonight and stare into the black void between the stars, you are not looking at an empty, quiet room. You are actually looking at the inside of a violently expanding explosion. Modern astrophysicists are incredibly proud of this discovery. They spend billions of dollars on satellites like the James Webb Space Telescope to prove that our universe is constantly stretching outward, rushing away from its center at terrifying speeds. They call this the Big Bang Theory, and they present it to the world as the ultimate, cutting-edge pinnacle of human intelligence. But what if I told you that the greatest minds in modern science are completely misunderstanding what they are actually looking at? What if this massive, mathematical expansion of space and time isn't a chaotic explosion at all, but simply the physical observation of the Supreme Lord taking a single calm breath? I've noticed that whenever the scientific community makes a massive breakthrough regarding the origins of the universe, they act as if they are the first humans in history to figure it out. They write countless textbooks, give Nobel Prizes to each other, and boldly declare that the mysteries of the cosmos have finally been solved. But if you strip away the complex mathematical jargon and look closely at what they are actually discovering, a terrifying and awe-inspiring truth begins to emerge. They are merely providing laboratory evidence for exactly what the ancient Vedic sages documented thousands of years ago in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Brahma Samhita. Today, we are going to explore the absolute mind-bending scale of Vedic cosmology, and how the modern theory of the Big Bang is nothing more than a microscopic detail within a much larger, infinitely more terrifying, and beautiful divine reality. To understand the absolute supremacy of Sanatana Dharma's scientific framework, we first have to understand the limit of modern science. Right now, astrophysics dictates that roughly 13.8 billion years ago, the entire universe, all the matter, all the light, all the galaxies, and every single atom that currently exists, was compacted into a single, infinitely dense microscopic point called a singularity. Then, for reasons that science absolutely cannot explain, this singularity rapidly expanded, creating space and time themselves. They also theorize that because the universe is expanding, it might eventually run out of energy, stop, and violently collapse back in on itself, crushing everything back into a singularity. They call this the Big Crunch. It is a sterile, lifeless, and ultimately depressing view of reality. It assumes we are a cosmic accident, a random mathematical glitch floating in a dark, uncaring void. But the ancient rishis of India did not view the cosmos through such a limited, mechanical lens. They possessed a technology far more advanced than any radio telescope, purified, elevated consciousness. Through profound meditation and divine revelation, they accessed the ultimate blueprint of creation. They understood that the universe is not a dead, random explosion. It is a highly organized biological and spiritual manifestation. And the entity responsible for this is known as Karanodakasai Vishnu, also known as Maha Vishnu. To comprehend Maha Vishnu, you must completely abandon your human understanding of size, scale, and time. Beyond the physical universes, beyond the stars and the black holes, exists the Viraja River, often translated as the Causal Ocean. This is not an ocean of water as we know it. It is an infinite, glowing expanse of pure spiritual energy, representing the boundary between the material and spiritual realms. Lying within this boundless, glowing cosmic ocean is Maha Vishnu. He is the ultimate, supreme source of all material creation. His form is vast beyond any mathematical calculation, resting peacefully in divine slumber. Now, prepare yourself for the most staggering scientific statement ever recorded in ancient history. The scriptures, specifically the Brahma Samhita, state that as Maha Vishnu lies in the causal ocean, he breathes. When he exhales, millions and billions of massive spherical universes literally bubble out of the pores of his divine skin. They emerge like tiny glowing seeds, expanding rapidly into the void. And when he inhales, all of those billions of universes, with all their galaxies, planets, and timelines, are instantly sucked back into his body and completely destroyed. A lot of people miss this, but modern science has recently become obsessed with the multiverse theory. The idea that our universe is just one of an infinite number of bubble universes floating in a larger dimensional space. Theoretical physicists write countless papers trying to prove the math behind this. Yet, the Srimad Bhagavatam casually stated this as an absolute fact thousands of years ago. Our entire universe, the one we think is so massive and endless, is just one single microscopic bubble that emerged from one single pore on the skin of Maha Vishnu during his exhalation. In my opinion, this completely shatters the arrogance of the Big Bang theory. Science tells us that the universe is expanding. They measure the redshift of distant galaxies and use the Hubble constant to prove that everything is moving away from us. But the Vedas explain exactly why it is expanding. The expansion of the universe is not the result of a random dead explosion. It is the literal physical manifestation of Maha Vishnu's breath pushing the boundaries of the universal bubble outward. The space-time continuum is expanding because the Supreme Lord is exhaling. The dark energy that scientists claim is pushing the universe apart is nothing but the divine kinetic energy of the Lord's breath. But the sheer scale of this reality becomes even more terrifying when we factor in the concept of time. Albert Einstein shocked the world in the 20th century when he published his theory of relativity, proving that time is not absolute. Time bends, stretches, and moves at different speeds depending on gravity and the observer's location in the universe. Einstein proved that time is an illusion. But once again, Sanatana Dharma was millennia ahead. The Vedic texts don't just explain time dilation. They map it out with terrifying precision. Let us look at the lifespan of our specific universe. When our bubble universe emerges from Maha Vishnu, a secondary expansion of the Lord, known as Garbhodakasai Vishnu, enters into it. From his navel grows a magnificent cosmic lotus flower, and upon this lotus, Lord Brahma, the first created being and the chief engineer of our universe, is born. Lord Brahma's job is to populate and design the planets, stars, and species within our specific bubble. Brahma lives for exactly 100 of his own years, but Brahma's time is completely relative and vastly different from Earth time. According to the precise astronomical calculations in the Vedic texts, just one single day in the life of Lord Brahma is equivalent to 4.32 billion human years. If you calculate his entire lifespan of 100 years, taking into account his days and nights, Lord Brahma lives for approximately 311 trillion and 40 billion Earth years. This number is so massive that the human brain can barely process it. It encompasses the birth and death of countless stars, the rise and fall of billions of civilizations, and the entire geological history of our planet repeated millions of times over. But here is the mind-bending, absolute truth that will completely change how you view your existence. That entire 311 trillion year lifespan of Lord Brahma, the entire duration of our universe from the Big Bang to the Big Crunch, all of it, happens within exactly one fraction of a second of Maha Vishnu's breath. When Maha Vishnu exhales, the universe is born. Brahma lives his 301 trillion years, and the universe expands. When Maha Vishnu inhales, Brahma dies, the universe collapses, and everything is drawn back into the Lord's body. The Big Bang and the Big Crunch are not separate, random events. They are simply the exhale and the inhale of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You, me, the Earth, the Sun, the Milky Way galaxy, and the billions of years of cosmic history that scientists study. We are all flashing into existence and being destroyed in the blink of a cosmic eye. When you truly internalize this information, it fundamentally alters your consciousness. Modern society is completely consumed by anxiety, stress, and the desperate pursuit of temporary material things. We obsess over our careers, our bank accounts, our social status, and our daily struggles. We view our 80 or 90 years on this planet as the ultimate, absolute reality. We are terrified of death, and we are terrified of losing the things we have built. But the profound science of Sanatana Dharma provides the ultimate cure for this anxiety. Cosmic perspective. When you realize that your entire lifespan is just a microscopic fraction of a millisecond within the breath of Maha Vishnu, your worldly problems suddenly lose their suffocating grip on your mind. Why should you be paralyzed by the anxiety of modern life when the very ground you stand on, the stars in the sky, and the fabric of time itself are completely temporary structures generated by the breathing of God? This is not meant to make you feel worthless. It is meant to make you feel entirely free. You are a spiritual entity, an eternal soul, temporarily inhabiting a physical body within a highly structured, perfectly engineered cosmic simulation. Your true identity is not tied to this temporary bubble. Your true identity is eternal, existing outside the limits of Maha Vishnu's breath. I've noticed that modern science, despite all its brilliance, is ultimately a science of limitation. It studies the mechanics of the prison, but completely ignores the architect. They look through their telescopes and see the expanding walls of the universe, and they call it the ultimate truth. But they are like ants crawling on a massive painting, trying to understand the picture by analyzing the chemical composition of the paint. The Vedic sages stepped back. They looked at the entire canvas. They didn't just see the paint, they saw the painter. They understood that the universe is governed by supreme intelligence, perfect mathematics, and absolute divine will. The Srimad Bhagavatam does not just present spiritual philosophy. It presents the ultimate unified field theory that modern physicists have spent decades searching for. It unites quantum mechanics, astrophysics, biology, and theology into one perfect, unbroken chain of logic. It proves that there is no separation between science and spirituality. True science is the study of God's energy, and true spirituality is the realization of the scientist within that energy. The next time you read an article about the Big Bang, or see a new image from a deep space telescope showing the birth of a galaxy, do not just see a random explosion of gas and dust. See the divine breath. Recognize the absolute, terrifying, and beautiful supremacy of Maha Vishnu. Understand that every single atom in your body, the air filling your lungs, and the light entering your eyes are all currently being held in existence by the exhalation of the Supreme Lord in the Causal Ocean. This is the unmatched, unparalleled glory of our ancient scriptures. We do not need to rewrite our religious texts to fit modern scientific discoveries. Modern science is simply catching up, step by slow step, to the truths that were chanted around sacred fires in India thousands of years ago. If this deep dive into the absolute scale of Vedic cosmology has expanded your mind and changed the way you look at the stars, you must help me share this truth. The algorithm will only push this knowledge to the world if you interact with it. Hit the like button right now. I want you to go to the comments and tell me exactly how it makes you feel, knowing that the entire universe exists within a single breath of Maha Vishnu. Does it give you peace? Does it terrify you? Let me know, because I read every single comment. Make sure you are subscribed and have the notification bell turned on, because we are going to continue decoding the absolute, unedited scientific supremacy of Sanatana Dharma. Stay faithful, stay fearless, and I will see you in the next one.